Call this meeting in order with a pledge of allegiance held by the Girl Scout, Troop 40121. Okay, go ahead, girls.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and square.
Let's pray. Let's hope we can keep things calm and keep going towards the borough like we have. Keep the little boy across the creek that has been gaining a lot in the last few weeks. Amen.
Amen.
We're just gonna hang out about 10 months.
That's fine, not a problem. Thank you. Thank you.
We're learning about government, so we had to come and see our local government in action. Thank you so much for letting us read the pledge.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you, girls.
Okay. The agenda for the 5-1 meeting was inadvertently posted to our website at a later than required by the sunshine laws. We recognize this mistake and we acknowledge it. Minutes moved and second accepting the April 14th regular meeting as presented and read from the lieu of reading out loud.
George, I'm going to make a motion to rescind the previous action taken to accept the $173,980.19 bid paid West Union Street, and that entry be expunged from the minutes of the meeting held on April 14th, 2025, and to now approve these minutes as corrected.
Okay. Thank you. Roll call.
Wait, I
What?
have a question.
Yes.
I guess I didn't understand that. Would you say that again? I'm sorry.
Here's the copy.
Okay.
At the May 1st special meeting, Terry presented council with additional information regarding the West Union paving project. There's other expenses that were not included in that, and it was also not included in the officially adapted budget for the fiscal year. She also shared with council we are currently paying on 2 PIB loans for paving projects, and there was not enough money in liquid fuels to cover the loan payment for the paving project. So I think rescinding it and then addressing it on the agenda at a later point would probably be the best option at this point. I don't know what our legal counsel may want to.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I'm making a motion to rescind a previous action we adopted to accept the bid for the paving. Terry had a special meeting after our last council meeting, and she told council we were presented with additional information about the West Union paving project, and the expense for the paving, $180,000, was not in our official budget we adopted at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So we're currently paying on 2 other PIB loans. We don't have enough money in our liquid fuels to cover this expense. So my motion was to rescind the previous action to accept the bid to pay based on that information that we've now been presented. So we can.
Okay, additional information which is the basis for your rescinding this. I think that's fine.
Yes, but it would need a second.
Yes, it would need a second.
Right.
So would this would happen like to not approve the minutes?
The minutes would be approved. There would just be a note in the minutes.
Yes, you can revise it accordingly. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
It doesn't affect the whole bid process itself, though, correct?
No, we just have to someone will have to re-motion it. Because there may be a change, right? From my understanding.
I'll give you a second for your motion.
Any discussion?
Give that copy to her so she can put it in the minutes, please. Thank you. That way,
Okay.
right.
No discussion. Can I have roll call? Deanna?
I'm gonna vote no just because I don't really understand. So that's the only reason.
Dave?
Well, I'm sorry.
We have some
what?
discussion first.
Yeah, can we talk about it?
Discussion.
Okay.
Right.
So,
My question is, why do the minutes need to be changed?
Okay.
Before, we
Can I-
can't approve them as they were and then go back
So-
and have this discussion?
so if this motion were to pass,
Yeah,
then council would then discuss and follow a formal budget amendment process and vote to add it to the budget. Because if we don't add this to our budget, when we show a deficit,
yeah, I understand that. I'm just
so
saying, this is.
we
this
need
is
to
the
legally
minutes.
authorize how to fund unbudgeted expenditures with
Yeah.
predetermined allocations to avoid a budget deficit, correct?
Yeah.
So all this is gonna do, take that previous action away, okay? Tonight, when we get to the West Union project, it's on the agenda, we'll know exactly how much we are going to spend on it, and we can allocate a predetermined amount of revenue
Right.
to be added
No, I
into
get the cost and all of that. I just don't understand why we're not approving the minutes.
We are, and now approve these minutes as corrected.
Okay.
So this still be in the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't do this now, you're gonna have to make a motion to amend the previous motion, right? Because we already approved it, we all voted for it. There's new information now that I didn't have before, maybe I would wanna vote differently. So if we rescind it and then readdress it with an accurate amount, with accurate information, now that we have the facts, this is an option, it don't matter to
Okay,
me.
yeah.
But I just don't want my name on something that, I'm all about the transparency, and this isn't my money or anyone else's, it's taxpayer money. And I just think we need to be open and honest with the taxpayers and let them know how their money is being spent.
Yeah, I just think we can address all of those things down in there. The minutes are what happened at the last meeting.
Yeah.
So
and
that's what we're approving is
it
the
will still be in
minutes.
the
That
minutes.
was what happened.
This will still be in the
So-
minutes.
It'll still be in the minutes, it's just getting a note
That's-
on it that it's been rescinded.
Yeah. It's still in the official minutes, it has to be
Okay.
noted in the official minutes, correct?
Yes, that's right. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Now that I understand it, yes.
Deanna, let's do a roll call again. Deanna.
I'm still no. Sorry.
Dave,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Joey,
No.
myself, so ayes have it. Okay, moved and second, accepting the minutes of the May 1st special council meeting.
So I move to accept the May 1st special council meetings as presented.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Brian,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Joey,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Deanna,
Aye.
myself, Gary.
You
You guys ready to make a motion for the bills, or you still need a little more time?
I could use a little more time.
Okay. Okay, we'll come back to that. Visitors, Canton Borough residents or Canton Borough taxpayers, please give name, address, organization which you represent. And subject individuals or organization distributing materials and information should identify themselves and purpose of distributing of their information. Individuals making comments relatively to a problem or employee should direct their comments to council members or the borough manager outside the meeting. Being this is a business meeting of the council, it is required that all comments, questions be kept at 3 minutes per person. Visitors will stand, speak from their visiting seat or unless invited otherwise. John.
Sean Packard, Borough resident. My mother, who's not here tonight, lives on East Union Street, and she wanted me to bring up the fact that the digital speed sign in the area of 75 East Union is still not working. She brought that up December, January, that it hadn't been working, and it was a battery issue, she was told.
Still not working?
No, I just come up by there before the
Jack, do you
meeting.
have anything on that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that good about the speed limit
The
sign.
speed limit sign is still not working.
Right.
She was told it needed a battery or something.
The batteries will be replaced tomorrow? Yep. Tomorrow.
All right.
I'll let her know, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Walter.
Thank you. I want to comment on the Facebook for the police department. I think it'd be a good idea when you're setting it up to turn the comments off in messaging so nobody can message or comment on the posts, so that there's no issues of people getting deleted or conversations going off the rails or anything like that. Protects you guys from anything like that. Can the sidewalk grant stuff be, can people still apply for that?
That's on the agenda.
I know it's on, okay. If information about it and like a frequently asked question thing could be put on the website, so it could be shared on the Facebook and to people that may need it, that'd be great. And with the open records policy, I think it would be better to repeal the ordinance and just have a policy instead of updating to a new ordinance, because I don't think there's any reason really to have it as an ordinance, and that would allow you to modify it as you need in the future instead of having to go through the whole ordinance process whenever the state changes anything.
Okay.
So those are my comments. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Nicole?
I just would like to say thank you again for letting our Girl Scout come and see how our local government's working.
You're welcome anytime.
We did a trash pickup up and down the
I
street
saw
here and
you.
around. We did both sides of the street, so we tried to also do a little community service that time. If there's something in the future that you're looking for some community service action, keep us in mind. We would be more than happy to help out the community.
Well, thank you. Thank you, girls.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, girls. Okay, no more visitors. Let's go back to bills. Can I have a motion and a second on the bills, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the bills as presented for payment and issue the checks.
Can I have a second, please? Joey? Any discussion? Jeff, roll call, please.
Aye.
Joey?
Aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Brian?
Aye.
And Dave? Aye. Thank you. Okay, business, number 8, TNR Margaret Moritz presentation.
Walt asked me about that. I got a text message about an hour ago. They got an emergency at the clinic. They had 3 dogs brought in. They got in a fight with porcupines, so
Ooh, nice.
unfortunately she couldn't break away. Hopefully June, if we could leave it on one more month.
Okay.
She really would like to come, but unfortunately she couldn't make it. Thank you.
Okay, B, review and or advertise draft ordinance 2025-2 to repeal and replace part 9, open records policy ordinance 545 of 12/08/2008.
So, I had asked that to be put on the agenda. After our last meeting, where we had discussion on this, Walt brought up some stuff, and he had prepared us a resolution, right? So I went on E-codes, and our open records policy is on there, okay? And everyone got a copy of that, and I think the ordinance that Andrew created for us. So I made a note to myself, I just was gonna say, you know, the current open record policy is from 2008, and I presume that council would recognize from time to time, policy should be revised to ensure compliance with current laws and regulations governing the access to public records. So I think I had emailed this to Andrew, and it was just recently I got an email back. He said, you know, sorry it took so long, but he actually put what would have been in the resolution and combined it into this ordinance and changed it under sections 901, 902. Because when I sent it all to Terry, she pulled up on the computer and she's like, I don't know where this 90 numbers are coming from. And she looked on the computer, there was a different version of the ordinance in there. So, but anyhow, again, let alone it's from 2008. But if you were to look at this, I've highlighted just 3 times in the first paragraph where it's making reference that designates our borough manager as our open records officer. So it's definitely needs revisions. I hope everyone took time to at least review the draft ordinance, and that's why I put and or, because if council likes what they saw or they've seen something that needed to be corrected, Obviously, we'd have to have our ordinance amended yet again, but if everyone's happy with it, I would make a motion to advertise the ordinance as presented for adoption at our next meeting.
Okay. Any roll call on that?
Second.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Discussion.
Or discussion, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is this something, I appreciated Walter's suggestion, is this something that might be easier to maintain as a policy versus an ordinance, Andrew?
I mean, I think this is not something that's likely to change.
Okay.
Once you adopt it, you could change it, but I don't think it's something that's gonna be subject to frequent change. The right to know law, everything I put in there is statutorily based.
Okay.
So those statutes, they've been around for a while. The right to know law is, pretty settled at this point, so I don't really foresee changes coming up. So however you want to, affect it,
Okay,
there's two ways to arrive at the same thing.
okay, thank you.
I just think there's much more detail in there.
Yeah, it was well detailed.
And that was the goal, so that everything's accounted for.
Yes.
It kind of spells out exactly, if this comes up, how do you handle it? If this comes
Right.
up, how do you handle it? Is this open record, subject to disclosure, or is this not? That was trying to flesh it out as best I could.
Okay,
You know as well as I did, I was up till 7 one night, going back and through emails, filling out an affidavit because of renting everything, so
Yeah.
I want to avoid that. Okay.
I was up till about midnight.
So there's a reason for wanting to change.
Yeah.
No more discussion, let's have roll call. Joey?
aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Myself, I, and Brian.
Aye.
Okay. Backup generator opening bids in the grant amount of $61,300. We only got one bid. And the bid is, does it say? Oh, Schoonover Plumbing and Heating. So here's the certificate. Signed and dated and notarized. All clause. The Burn Wage Act, workman's compensation stuff, which is through Dunn's Insurance. Kelly Bedford signed it. Mr. Eric Schoonover signed it. And here is the certificate of insurance. So the bid enclosed is a quote for the equipment as specified. The transformer switch for the project currently has a 32-week lead time. There is an alternative that carries a 10-week lead time. However, they are more expensive. These alternates can be addressed in an ed charge order and timing becomes an issue. As a point of clarification, the bid included powering the street garage from the fire station system and includes the wiring conduit connections to make this happen. However, it remains the borough's responsibility to cancel existing power service with Penelec at the street shed after the new power supply is installed and coordinated any removal of power meter. Underground power lines are required by Penelec at this time. Schoonover will coordinate upgrading of the gas meter at the fire station with UGI if required. However, any cost assisting with the upgrade from UGI will be borne by the Canton Borough. So, and Eric signed it.
How much is the bid?
$61,300.
That's how much the bid is?
Well, I don't know. I
That's
thought that's what it was.
Well, that's how much the
That's the
grant.
grant.
That's the bid or
That's
grant.
right.
That'd be perfect. That's.
Yeah. think it was supposed to be 16 over that.
$78,900.
Is there no generator there now?
There is absolutely nothing.
George,
And the fire-
that bid sounds like we're tying the street department shed in and the big
Firehouse. We're not, is that still gonna happen, or
That's
you?
what the bid is for. That's what it's scoped out as.
Okay, yes.
Wasn't the grant for the fire department?
No, it was for both.
Both.
It
It
was
was-
written for both.
It was written for both. So, because if we lose power, they lose power.
Right.
They have no way to get their doors open. Well, they do, but without a safety thing, it's, you know.
Is that a necessity? You guys need that generator back up, or you have a generator that would operate the municipal building?
Am I supposed to discuss that right now?
I don't think-
Nobody
Do we
made a
have to have a
motion or had
motion?
to.
Yeah,
No,
we have to have a motion.
we have to have a motion stuff, so.
Oh, well, that's like,
I'll make a motion to entertain the bid from Schoonover Plumbing and Heating for the backup generator.
I'll second it, so we can have some discussion.
Yeah,
Okay, discussion.
okay. So, go ahead.
I had talked to Terry earlier, and I thought we were gonna come in maybe $8,000 over the bid, because if we didn't add in the extra piping and labor and everything to have the street shed involved.
Which I'm okay with, because I'm already wired for a generator I did myself. So I can run my building on the generator I have. So
Yeah.
I don't need to be hooked in.
He knows.
Does this have to be then rebid? Because what we're looking for is different?
You wouldn't have to rebid it.
It
You
would
could do it as
significantly
a
reduce
change
the
order
cost.
Change order.
to eliminate the work for the street shed and only
Do the firehouse.
put the generator for the firehouse. I called LSA to talk to the lady. She looked it up and she said that the main part of the bid was for the fire department. And as long as that grant money is used for that, and we don't say, hey, we're not gonna do the street shed, but we wanna use 10,000 of that grant money for this, as long as we use all that grant money for the main part, which was the fire department, there's not a problem.
Was that the price change, 10,000?
I don't know what the price change is gonna be.
Okay.
You won't know that
We would-
till.
If you award this to them and ask them for a change order to eliminate it, we don't have to rebid it all. Mountain Lake Electric came to the bid opening, or the bid, pre-bid meeting, but they didn't bring no bid in today. The Schoonovers and Mountain Lake Electric were the only two there. And Schoonovers was the only one that
Do you know
brought
if
a
there's
bid.
a charge for the change order?
Yeah,
But it would be a
know.
significant savings.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna guess that it's gonna be between 8 and 10,000 for electrical, they're putting in a 100 amp sub panel in the street shed, so you gotta run the conduit, the LVs, the wire, everything, dig the ditch. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be between 8 and 10,000.
And I'll tell you right now, you won't get very deep in that ground.
You know,
So I think it'd be a win-win for us. because-
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you put the generator in, the borough does, when the fire company leaves and we get our own station, the generator stays there. So Dave will have that for backup.
Yeah, I get it. And my only concern is, again, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're getting 61,300 in the grant. We're gonna maybe have to pay $10,000 to $12,000 more. Again, we didn't budget.
You also have to realize, Brian, that if that station goes down with power,
Yeah.
we have no communications except pull the
Right,
truck outside.
and that's what I said, we need to do this, but if we could eliminate the cost of the street shed. You know, we're not at
As
78,000,
long
maybe we're at
as long as Dave,
68,000.
as long as Dave's happy with that, I don't have a problem with it.
I
So,
wired it 4
for
years ago.
budgeting purposes, I think we should
I think
cut
we
the
could probably
street
use
part
some
down,
of the
but it's just my
money
opinion.
from the fire fund also to cover that generator. I don't know why we did it.
I think that would be a win-win for us financially, and the full budget amount goes for the fire department. Because that's our building eventually.
Yes, yes, Sean.
George, wouldn't that also be used for disaster purposes?
Yes, we use it for disaster.
Because we can pull trucks out
and get trucks out
Yeah.
and warm it in a warming facility.
Yeah, so that'd be a no-brainer.
Oh, it is a
For me,
no-brainer,
yeah,
but,
it's-
I mean, why add $18,000
Yeah.
onto the cost to add the street shed when they're capable of running it with a portable generator?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no sense.
That's
in throwing big
essentially a
money after that.
multi-purpose building that's gonna be there, so.
Right. And this was off the agenda for a long time, that's why I asked to have it put back on, because I mean, we have the grant money.
Yeah, I know Scott had asked and Ray had asked over the bunch in the last
Yes,
2
we
years,
have to
so.
make an
Yeah.
amendment since we're going to pull the street shed.
I would like to make an amendment
You know what
to,
I do? I
Pardon?
want to, and use money from the fire fund to cover the balance.
That's fine, Gary.
I would like to make an amendment to the motion and add that we use money for the fire fund to cover the extra expenditure and that we delete the line item for the street department shed.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion?
And if they come back after the change order and it's still a number that we're not happy with, we stuck with this bid?
We don't have to, we could reject it and hopefully we get another one. But my only fear of the cost is gonna go up and
Yes.
everything. And if we wait another month, 2 months to,
We always say that, costs are gonna go up.
you know.
It did, the cost of generators, number one, you can't get them, there's a wait list, and they went up like 10 to 20%.
And the lead time was,
Yeah,
That's in a year.
32
Yeah.
weeks, so
Yeah.
we're looking,
Generac, they have, I totally believe that.
it's a Kohler, it's not a
A
generator.
Kohler, whatever, yeah, but
Because Aaron from Mountain Lake Electric was the one that came in and listened, he didn't have enough time to put it together. He works at DuPont. Now owns Mountain Lake Electric. So they just didn't have the time to get it done, it wasn't enough time.
So Dave needs a second for his amendment?
Yes.
I'll do that.
Dee did.
Deeded.
Oh, I'm
so I
sorry.
think Brian did.
It's Brian.
Oh, Brian.
So,
Thank you.
Somebody
You
did.
got more than.
Brian, roll call.
Aye.
Joey,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Deanna,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
myself, aye. Okay, thank you. The DCNR grant phase 3 basketball court, Borough agreed to 60,000 cash match, not budgeted.
We'll move that to later in the agenda.
I don't care. We want
That's fine.
to replace I with D.
You can. No problem. Here. Sidewalk grant update. You have anything on that there?
Other than what I told you, the other day, we have 2 years to use the money for the sidewalk grant. I tried to call her back to verify if the resident had to pay anything towards it. I think I had asked her that before,
I know.
and she told me no.
No,
It's
they don't
all
have,
straight 60,000.
Yeah.
And,
it's based off their income.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
No.
Canton Borough automatically qualifies.
Oh, good.
Everybody qualifies.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't have to do anything with their income, because they all qualify. But I don't know, somebody made a comment that before that the resident had to pay a portion. I'm
I don't-
positive she told me that.
I don't think they
They do
do.
not.
No,
It all depends on the project.
yeah, we were here when you were talking about that last, there was not, it's straight pay.
So if
But once it's gone, we do have to pay for anything that goes over.
over the 60,000 is
Yes.
correct.
And we need not necessarily 60, correct?
Yeah, because you
Right.
got all your other costs on top of that.
Right. So,
And there's, what did I tell you, there was, 4,000, or 5,700 for that environmental thing that they had to
Right.
do.
so
For
we have a little
everything.
more than 50,000, we'll
Yeah.
say, to spend on.
Towards that, but then you got your bidding for your contractor, your architect and your contractor and all that stuff. Unless we choose to do the sidewalks ourselves.
Hey, Dave, how you
Have an
doing?
engineer look at a sidewalk.
I,
Why can't we have a community project? Have the homeowner and streets and roads guys, work together
Yeah,
to.
it's just the way they are, unfortunately. I mean,
Wow.
if we don't, the problem is if we don't obey by their laws, we don't get the money.
I mean, I can see building stuff in the code, but.
The nice thing is, and I don't know if you've mentioned that, Terry, but this 60,000 is about to go away.
Yeah.
In about 3 weeks, 2025, they're gonna open this up for another,
Mhm.
I don't know, 60,000.
So
So,
if everybody needs a sidewalk, let's get them done.
So the 2 years
I
to
thought
use
she
the money was,
gonna have the zoning look at some
this is the
sidewalks.
end of the 2
I
years?
mean, we could easily make a call
We have
to
2
Twist
years.
Construction or
We have 2
Wilcox
years.
Concrete.
Oh,
Say, this is
okay.
what we have, $53,000. What could you do? Pick out the worst sidewalks in the community and fix them.
I think.
Or do they have time to do it?
Leanne did some walking around.
If the borough does it in-house, then we stay under budget.
Yeah, but
I
there
don't
you go
know.
again, if we get into sidewalks, we're gonna be, no, we're not doing
You got all
sidewalks.
your other
A lot of-
projects that you
a lot
got
of-
to do.
We're not doing sidewalks.
A
We're
lot of
going to
the
go
problems
there.
with the sidewalks in town are about trees.
Yeah.
Trees have to be removed, and some of them are big.
Yeah,
And we can't, our insurance does not allow us,
okay.
for me to get in there because of power lines and everything, I have to get in and remove these trees.
I don't know if we could look back, Dave, because that's a good point. President Schultz brought that up. He said he actually utilized this funding
Mhm.
and they removed a tree and redid a sidewalk for it.
Yeah, they do.
So if that comes in, then that was all contracted out, I believe.
Yeah, it was all contracted.
This is an easy one, right?
Yeah,
So you need a motion?
I don't think so.
Nope, I think that was just enough.
Good, great, thank you.
Okay, West Union Street / Twin Pine Lanes. Dave?
It's come to my attention, which I didn't know all these years, that we actually own Twin Pine Lanes. I never knew that, it's always been a brown sign on it, so, what we did is I called Rodney up and everything, to give us a price on having that small section done, and I think Terry has that on that part of the street, because like I said, I never knew.
The
Never
additional 3-inch depth milling Twin Pine Lane requested by Canton Borough. This quantity does not include Indian's scope of work, $2,332. The item is furnishing and placing 3-inch depth, 19 millimeter binder on Twin Pine Lanes as requested by Canton Borough. This quantity is not included in the original scoop, which is $5,470. So you're looking at,
$7,701.
yeah. So,
Now, I have a question about all this, is because we have dealt with some of this in Leroy at one time. After so long of someone maintaining it, it is no longer our property if they've maintained it. Do we still really own it?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't touched it in years.
I can remember when I was, you're working, I do remember I plowed that once or twice. It was a bugger to plow, but yes, we plowed it and we put it, the pipe that comes across from the other side of the road at the intersection runs right straight down through there. So we had to put back the blacktop and everything that we took out, or we had to seed all the, along. So yes, I do remember that.
How did we find out that it actually is ours?
Leanne?
Yeah, Leanne did it.
Yeah, if you look on the
She has-
Bradford County parcel viewer, if you go to a private drive, you can see that it's under a parcel, so it's not just like a road. But if it's not, then it's not attached to a parcel. I mean, I can pull it up on here so you guys can see if you want, but it's a community Canton Borough street name, and then if you go next door, go down the road a little bit, there's that,
Cartwright Lane.
no, it's the Central Pennsylvania.
Cedar Ridge.
Oh, okay,
So Cedar Ridge Drive,
yes.
it's a drive, but it's included in the actual parcel itself, so like they maintain it.
Yeah.
Where this one, this is a road, and it's definitely a road.
How long have you been on the street department?
So 2014 to 2018, and I'm coming up on my 4th year this round.
was Jordan.
When were you?
I was, I was part-time in the 90s and then 2000, no, before you.
Yeah, I came in 2014.
So it was 2008,
2000.
7 or 2008 I left and we took care of it then.
Okay, so that, if it's been that long, we may want to see if we really do own it, because we're taking an added expenditure for something that we might not even own anymore.
I mean, if it's on a parcel, we've got to own it. I mean,
The thing with the private drives versus when it does become the boroughs. So what I've seen before is so it's a private drive and there's just a couple houses and then they all have like a driveway maintenance agreement. But once you get to a certain amount of houses that are on it, I'm sure that they don't have any kind of maintenance agreement on it because nobody does potholes, you know? So I don't know when the county like updated this or whatever, like I couldn't tell you that.
I'm sure they probably updated it when they did the 911, give
Right.
readdressing.
But it somehow came back to the borough, and it's not just the road actually the borough has, it's that strip all the way back to the creek too.
You're way on that right away, all the way down to the.
Right at the end of the road, when the black top ends, there's a catch basin and there's a pipe that goes on down to the creek.
I just have one quick question. The street committee, was this project included in our officially adopted budget for this fiscal year as a line item? Did the street committee get presented with a bid so we could add it to our budget?
No.
So
Not
we
knowing that it
already had
was
approved it at
not
last meeting for $173,989. If we add on the change order of $7,800, we're looking at $181,791.19 project that we do not have money in the budget for. Yikes.
Well, and I understand your point, but my point that I'm gonna say is, and I know it's not a budget, so we're gonna leave a parcel of a street that's not gonna be paved, and then who knows how long down the road that we're gonna have to go back and repave this, if it does continue to be ours.
I would have to ask our solicitor.
I'm actually, I was just about to chime in. Is the fear here that it might have been taken by adverse possession? Is that the concern?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm looking into it as we speak, and it doesn't look like government-owned property is subject to adverse possession. So I'll have to do a little more digging into that, but it doesn't look like.
Yeah, because the stuff I don't
It
know was
looks like you
private
guys are
possession.
immune to that claim.
Andrew, if this line item was not in our budget that we officially adopted, would we have to amend our budget, revise it as an amendment? Because,
I'd have to look into that, but I think it would have to be some type of amendment.
and a resolution to add it, because if not, it's gonna show up as a deficit.
Right, yeah, and you want to avoid that at all costs.
Exactly, because that's gonna look at taxpayers, and again, I don't care how people vote, I'm just trying to be transparent and let people and the taxpayers have an opportunity to chime in on this, because at the end of the day, when you add up all these non-budgeted items, we're over $250,000, and we're carrying a deficit from last year. The 60,000 match for the basketball court, it's not in the budget. We signed this in 2023. Why was it not added as a line?
Oh, we don't know that. I mean,
We don't, but I'm just saying, we can't ignore it because we know it now. I know you want to treat the street as an emergency, so do I. But we have a CD that we cashed in. Terry, do we have a rainy day fund?
never had a.
So we will not, if we spend that whole CD, we would not have an emergency fund, period. This borough would be broke. So now's the time to decide whether you want to fix the street, or if a bridge washes out, you have a complete catastrophe. That's an emergency. This is considered an emergency. I consider it a tremendous mistake. Tremendous. because it was not prepared for.
I'm sorry, Leanne?
I just wanted to, let you guys know, so when, I don't remember how this came about, but whoever has it taking care of the road, they said, they wanted me to kind of look into it, because they wanted to see if it was possible to give it back to the borough. And when I found this, they were like, is it just possible to fill some of the potholes? Like, they didn't expect it to be on the paving budget this year, you know, because it was just kind of found out recently. So they wanted to know if there was any, like, you have, what are they called when you have the extra?
Millings.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
They were like, if you just had some millings, is there any way that you could just kind
Yeah,
of?
they could do it, but if the borough owns it, they could fix it.
Yeah, so before, you know, things get too.
Right now, the gas company's cutting it all off, so.
But I'm just saying, we need to get back to a process and procedure. Do what we say what we do. Put it in the budget, we can look at the budget, we can always cut the budget, but if we gotta have some numbers to go with before we vote, last month, we voted on something and then found out at a special meeting that there's no money. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know my checkbook if there's no
Is
money.
this
It's
the
like,
Janone property?
Yes.
Well,
problem.
didn't he,
Janelle and Heppel, Koonsman,
didn't he or they state at one point they were willing to cover the cost of paving that? I thought that
well,
was
that
part
was
of the
until
meeting.
they found out
Until the
they
price.
probably owned it, now they don't own it.
Okay.
That's why.
And that's what, I said,
Changed it to, yeah,
some things
okay.
come up that I didn't
Yeah.
know about before. And
Yeah,
I
Okay,
voted
so-
for it last month.
yeah.
I thought the special meeting was for when we cashed in that CD, that we had absolutely no intention of paying for the whole thing. It was enough to take out to pay for the year, and then we'd add the rest of it to next year's budget.
Yeah,
That could be an option.
That's what we voted on.
That's why I had it relinquished, so you need a new motion.
Yeah.
On
Yeah,
how
we
you
just
wanna
voted
do
on
it.
to cash it, and then.
Oh,
but we
okay,
talked
okay.
about this,
Okay,
was to be decided here.
so what's everybody's feeling, yay, no, or what?
So with the, just so you know, with that cash CD, I put into the savings account, the general savings, that's 440,000 that we have in there right now. Plus, I just got a check from Gary Gluttner for April taxes for 187,000, that was just April. So right now, there'll be 656,389 in savings. If you were to use for the West Union Street and the Twin Pines, 2nd Street, that brings that savings down to 461. The
And if
generator, I say we could take out a fire, there's, he gave me a check for 30,000 for fire, but I already had 13 in there. And the only thing that ever comes out of fire that I've looked back is the workman's comp and the fire contract, and there's enough money to cover
So
all
we
that
haven't
and have
budgeted
extra.
anything against that, is that right? Okay.
So that's why I think that the money for the generator could come out of the fire fund.
So if we reinvest, and we're not to our CD yet anyway, but if we reinvest 200, we'd have 200 and some thousand in the savings.
After you pay for the street projects, you would still have that.
The basketball court's not in that.
I
Your
don't have, I
numbers?
didn't put the basketball court in there yet, no.
Well, I would make a motion to have a formal budget amendment so we can, and resolution, so we can adopt it, so we know where, this funds are allocated for each, with amounts for each phase. So much for West Union Street, so much for the grant for the backup generator, West Union, and the $60,000 cash match for phase 3. And that's why I asked the gentleman that was here and presented tonight, because we come in 51,000 on phase 2 over budget. I'm hoping we're not that far over budget on phase 3, but it's just, you don't know. I mean,
I think holding on Twin Pine Lane with millings and a good allocation down through here is a great option, and I don't think they would be opposed to that at all.
They were,
Certainly.
I don't think they'd be opposed to it.
So it's gonna cost us a little bit of something, but not
What's
near the
tricky?
7,000.
odd is, we're still paying 2 PIP loans for paving projects. We're back, what, 2019? in 20. They paved Second Street last year, and she paid it out of pocket, I guess. We didn't take a loan out for that.
Paid out of general fund. It's the way she did things.
It's just, it's
It's done
unfortunate.
though, so.
Let's
we have to
just
move
move
on.
on. We can move on.
So can we take the 180 out of the general fund this year is my question. Yes?
I think part of my thought process is that somehow we're committed to these projects. We just can't, can't just walk away.
Right.
You can't walk away, Jeff, but if you don't have the money to pay for them.
Well, I think we do.
We have the money and what Terry just said.
Yeah, because it was my understanding that we would hold enough money out of that to make the PIB loan, that was the one that was 3.5%, right?
3.875.
3.875. Okay, that we would hold enough money out to pay that for the year, and then next year that loan is going to have to be adjusted into the budget, so it's not
In the
costing
liquid
anything.
fuels, but you're not gonna have enough money to pay for everything else out of liquid fuels if you put another loan in there. You already have 2 loans coming
That's what I'm
out.
saying, the taxes are gonna have to go up then.
But that's out of liquid fuels. You would have to take it out of,
What do we have to do to legally, do we have to, what Brian said about redoing the budget amendment or?
I thought Renee told us we couldn't spend money when we were doing our budget if it was not
Question for
included.
Andrew.
If we don't have a line item budgeted, we could be held liable as council for the expense.
Right, right.
I don't wanna be responsible for $250,000.
Conversation you had with Renee, but I would follow her advice on that, yes.
Yes, but would that be the same if we took it out of the CD and made the payments for the year and then put it in the budget for next year, Andrew?
You have to have it in your budget. It's not in the
Yeah,
budget.
that's putting the chicken before the egg,
Okay.
or the cart before the horse.
If you're writing a check, you don't have money in your account for it.
Well, it is in our
Books.
account, it's in our general fund.
But it's not in the fiscal budget. We
So we need
approved
to
a fiscal
reopen our
budget for the
budget,
year.
is that right, Andrew? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
You need to reapprove your budget and then put the money, allocate the money in the budget. If you don't have the money in your checking account, you don't write the check. Wise man
Okay.
once told me.
So do we need then a motion or another meeting to reopen our budget?
Yeah, yes, table this discussion.
Okay, that's
All right.
great.
Okay. Table.
Consider it tabled.
We'll
Thank you.
table West Union / Twin Pines Lanes.
Table G also?
Yes.
Second Street?
Yes, until we decide what we're doing here. H, CD reinvest cash CD funds.
you can have to pay for that, so you decide what you're gonna do with it.
Okay, table that one. Okay, the next one's the I, solicitor service, hire Sweet, Stevens, Katz, and Williams. SR $200 an hour. SRT time $220. Paralegal assistance, SR $150 per hour. And court time at $150.
That's our standard rate.
Okay,
And the other one was 40 times.
thank you. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion?
I would just say, I think this was a part of the plan from the start. Andrew, I want to first and foremost thank you guys for doing what you've done for our municipality.
Absolutely.
I think we're starting to get our ship back on course, and so I hope it don't come as a big surprise.
Thank you for your words. That was my understanding of this relationship as well. We help you guys get back on course, and then you find some local counsel. So
Yeah.
we're all happy that it worked out.
Yeah, and obviously it's unfortunate we can't have boots on the ground, but Cassie could do that, so that's part of the decision as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew, and your whole
Thank you
crew.
all.
Any more discussion?
They, is my understanding you remain as like a special counsel if we would need that kind of thing, is that right, or am I
Well,
misunderstood?
You would probably have to, enter into a different engagement.
Gotcha.
But currently, right now we're your solicitor. But if you wanted to hire us as special counsel, then it would be
Okay.
as easy as reaching out to Renee, and then they could get that engagement.
Okay, all right.
At least you know who you're dealing with now and
Oh, yeah.
All right, buddy, thank you.
If no
Thank
more
you very
discussion, let's have a roll call. Brian?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Joey?
Aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Jeff?
Abstain.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come right up here.
You've got Andrew here and on board tonight, so I'll sit back here quietly and let him finish
Not a problem. Not a problem.
ours. You don't need to pay two of us for time this evening.
Havoc, maintenance update.
The
HVAC.
equipment problem service, the part has been put on the generator. When we serviced the furnace, we found that one furnace had a breaker that was tripped due to a wire coming out of a crimp on a capacitor. That has all been fixed. Jack has air, he's happy.
You can manage it.
As
Making
of right
sweat.
now, we're going to just, see how it works. We didn't actually go into balancing it because the air did move so much better after turning the other furnace on. So we're just gonna let it go like that, but the maintenance contract's been awesome.
Okay, thank you. Canton Chamber Block Dance, approved PennDOT application. Hi Terry, I have attached this is a letter request permission for us to fill out the PennDOT applications to shut down the road for the CDC in July. It would be appreciated if this could be handled in the May meeting to give us time to proceed the permit, which they closed from the red light to south and north Minnequaw. The date is July 12th. Canton Area Chamber of Commerce is working on their PennDOT permit for the No Block Dance. We'll be submitting to close Route 14 from the red light to the intersection of Route 154 North Minnequaw and 3027 from Route 14 to the intersection of West and East Union. From close celebration begins at 4. The permit will be closed from 12 to 11. We thank you for your consideration, look forward to hearing. So there's the vendor application, so. Anybody want to see it or want to look into it?
I will make a motion that we help the chamber out. with
Second.
that.
Any discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call. Jeff?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Deanna?
Aye.
Joey?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Okay.
And we went through that application.
Police Department. Jack, you have the floor, sir.
So the only thing, I needed to get council's approval to build a Facebook page that's going to mirror a lot of the other departments in the county. So they'll kind of keep everything standardized. It's not, I mean, there's no expense to it. It's not like a website. So it would just be developing a Facebook page for anything. I know other departments use them and have a lot of success. If there's anything from somebody lost their dog or information or anything that they can post on there, and it always seems to be a good thing. So Carter had asked about, he's pretty savvy with setting that up, and he said that he would help me do that. So I think that would be probably a good thing.
Do we need a motion for that?
Maintained by yourself or him?
I didn't hear you.
Maintained by one or the other of
Yes.
you, or, okay.
Yep. And it would be checked, daily and whatever, and yeah, I just think it would be just a good next step for where the department's going.
I totally agree with you, Jack. I think it would give us some more visibility to the public and give us the opportunity to share good information about maybe projects or things that are coming up. So I don't know, do we need a motion for that?
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to accept, having our police chief and his, part-time helper, create a Facebook
second,
page for the
please?
borough.
Any discussion? Roll call. Joey.
Aye.
Brian.
Aye.
Jeff.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
Deanna.
Aye.
Myself. Aye.
The only thing you'll see that's different on this report, now that I'm finally getting caught up, you can see the traffic's been a lot busier. It helps having, you know, Carter out here at night too, because he focuses on traffic, but I've been altering my shifts a little bit, trying to hit different times. Between 6 and 7 in the morning, Main Street and Troy Street or a racetrack.
Yep.
I got 2 this morning. I did 6 to 2 today, and I had 1 on Main Street, 1 on Troy Street.
And they like to use like coming as a cutoff.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just trying to catch up on some of that, so
Okay, cool.
that
Thank
gives
you.
me, between 7 and 8, I'm all around the school zone, so that gives me, you know, an hour beforehand to, and I just noticed the need. I mean, the first day I came in, I just couldn't believe, you know, I have people going 65 miles an hour on Main Street. It's nuts. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jack. I
Keep up the good work.
appreciate it, you know, I think it's surprising a little bit. Word gets out, you know, and they won't know when you're there, and that's a good thing.
How's the vehicle? They okay? And
everything's good. Tomorrow, the Tahoe goes in for service. Just a regular service, there's nothing wrong with it. And I have a group from the school coming tomorrow between 9 and 11, third graders. They tour the different businesses and they're gonna tour the police station. So I'll have a couple hours of that in the morning, so.
Good.
Those are nice photos for a Facebook page.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
They are,
Good,
so.
good stuff. Keep it up.
council have anything else?
You want to discuss the issue down to the park, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, from today?
Yes.
So there was, George, somebody had brought it to George's attention that there was some vandalism
All
at
over
the
Facebook.
park. So, I got with Dave and we went down and actually, I don't know how to explain, there's a toy that's on a board and it gets kind of see-through and there's like marbles in it or whatever. and you can
Just
spin
spin it in the marbles ball.
So that had been knocked down and Dave has that, but he's waiting, he ordered hardware. So this was kind of old news that somebody just saw. The other thing that was broken was I don't know how to explain, it's a thing you stand on and there's a rod that holds it up.
It's the pole, Jeff.
Like a jumper or something.
It's the pole with the red seat at the bottom.
Yeah.
Almost like it's stepping
Somebody-
stones or whatever you can hold on.
The vandalism, right?
Dave looked at that and it's simply the bolt broke. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't intentional. You could just see where.
Worn through probably.
Right, so that's something that he can replace easily. But the other parts, he's waiting for. There's special safety bolts that the kid can't get snagged on it or whatever. So he's waiting for some hardware. But so no, that was long enough ago. It was before the cameras were really functioning down there to see everything that we needed to see. So it's
good.
Now the summer's here, I guess we'll if there is vandalism, we'll pick up on it sooner, and then we can review the camera system and try to identify who did it.
The other stuff, but I'm not gonna mention, but there was some stuff that pretty nasty that was found by some kids. So their parents had their kids down there. The one parent said, thank God they had rubber gloves.
I don't live far from the park, and I'll tell you, there's been a lot of people. It's been well used, I'd say that.
Use that park hard.
They do, so I can see where maybe, you know, a bolt broke, but I thought it was actually someone went in and did vandalism.
Somebody took this thing apart. I don't know how they did it. It
Okay.
amazes me how they had.
Well, when I see them, like, how did that come apart?
But it amazes me because the bushings and the bolts are gone. They weren't just laying on the ground. They're nowhere to be found. So somebody did this, and they're pretty smart. I don't know how they did it, because they're special.
Yes,
I
they
have
are.
special tools to put these things together.
The hex head with a
People
special
can
pen.
appreciate because it is very costly.
Yes, Pete.
So I just wondered, now that you guys have looked at it, so I drove by there on the way up here tonight because I live right there too.
Yep.
That piece that's knocked down and broke, can it be removed so that there's not more damage or?
It's gonna be fixed tomorrow, Pete.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be screwed back up.
Yeah, so it'll be taken care of tomorrow.
It's not the hardware it takes wasn't special ordered.
Oh, okay.
It
Gotcha.
was fitting done, so.
Yeah, Sean.
The views that we have with the cameras down there, can you see the equipment good, Dave, or do we need to look into getting another camera to see more of an area?
Dave.
He said today that the cameras that are in place are adequate to see the entire park. And the new one also lets us see the new bathroom that was put in. It's just that it was long enough ago that we wouldn't know where to start looking for the footage.
Yeah, okay.
By the time he found it, it was how long it had been under the snow or like whatever, like it wasn't, we don't even know when that was done.
So you guys will be able to identify somebody if they're breaking equipment or doing whatever down there
Oh,
then?
absolutely. That's how we caught them with the picnic tables that one year.
Good.
Down there, destroying the picnic tables.
So maybe the street department could put that on a route, just take a drive by there once or twice a week and just, yeah.
We have to go down every day, almost every day anyhow, because of the bathrooms.
Okay,
Because
yeah,
the bath-
yeah, so you can just look things over and you'll know if something happened the night before, it needs looked at.
The bathrooms are getting used hard. I mean, people are really using them.
As long as they don't start abusing, that's gonna be the next.
So far, if I can just teach the little ones how to stop peeing on the floor of the toilet, I'd be happy.
Is that
That's the one.
so are we still paying for that?
That's literally.
Oh, they have that, okay. I wasn't sure.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Street report for April.
Of course, it's starting a busy time of year. Brush pickup, yard waste pickup has picked up, majorly. So we've been doing that on every Monday, filling the truck up once or twice with debris and stuff that people are putting out. We've also started all our cuts and where we're gonna replace the bad pieces of road and stuff that I have to get fixed in there. We're doing berm work, we're doing ditch cleaning. So we've got quite a few projects that are going on. It's gonna keep you busy through the summer.
Okay, Freightliner truck.
I talked to Ted about it, and he's either gonna pick it up the latter part of this week or next week, just to go down and have that computer change on it. It's a one-day deal. He picks it up, comes back the next day. The 550, I have to just have council let me know where they want me to take it. It needs to go to a Ford dealership. We've got electrical issues in it. And every light on the dash inside there and every warning, everything's on it.
Let me ask this, how long's this been going on?
Sporadically since we got the manifold.
So, why did you wait this long?
Because you could reset it and it would be fine.
Who's resetting it?
Watson's. They go right down there and they reset it.
Next time, don't take it to Watson's. Take it, if it does it, get it scheduled and get it to a Ford dealership where it needs to go. Just because they're going down and you're taking it down there and they're resetting the computer, that's not good for them. So go ahead, I'm sorry to interrupt.
But anyhow, I need to know where council wants me to take it and everything.
Well, who can do the work, Dave?
Sherwood Groves and White Sox.
Is that who can do the work, Dave?
Any Ford dealer can do it.
Okay. Is that the most convenient place to go?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll make a motion that we get the 550 looked at.
Hydrant, Steve, are you gonna?
Yep, they're always going to go on.
We need a motion for that? Can't you just do it?
I just need.
I didn't
He
know.
just,
I'm sorry.
yeah, he just needs to, we just need to let him know what we wanna do with it.
Yeah, hydrant markers are on my list of my stuff to do this summer, so they will be put on.
Okay. Call Sherwood's tomorrow, please. Part-time help,
Starts June 2nd.
who is it?
John Bowman. He worked with us last year and he wants to come back this year.
Jerry, was, that in the budget for this year?
It was in the budget.
Thank you.
He's still teaching. Council have anything else on the street department?
I do have a question about the part-time help. I remember, now this might be far-fetched, it was years ago, was 35 years ago. We used to be able to get the part-time, because I worked with the borough with Louis and John all those years back ago, through the school. Is that program even open anymore?
So we tried that last year, and we had applications out for
For a while, we
a month and a half. Nobody applied.
Okay.
And I think a week before we closed it, he said, you know, give me an application, I'll fill it out, and give me something to do this summer.
What about through Bradford County Action? That's what that was.
That's what that was.
It
And
was,
they didn't-
no, didn't get anything.
The jail may be able to offer inmates again soon. They're almost at full staff. Just, they're offering it to government agencies.
I need to have somebody that's at least 18 years old and has a valid driver's license. If I don't, then I've got to shuffle, I gotta shuttle this person around. They can't run the trucks, they can't move equipment, they can't do anything. So basically all they're gonna do is have a shovel or a broom or something in their hand all the time. And that's the only thing. I mean, it's up to you guys on what you wanna do, but that's the situation I run into. If they're not at least 18 years of age.
What we did, we push mowed the pool. We whacked it, steamrollers.
Yeah, I can't even let them run a mower or a weed eater now. Because the way it is. It sucks.
The person you already hired, John?
John worked with us last year. He's actually still on the books for emergency for winter time if it ran into a problem. But like I said, it's not up to me, it's up to you guys, as far as that goes.
What does the part-time person, what are their responsibilities?
Everything that we do, they do.
So there's a group of 3 people doing all the jobs, or are you disseminating, you go here, I'll go here?
No, on rare occasions, like last year and everything, I'll send John and Jimmy to do something if I've got other things I have to do, but most of the time with the blacktop work and the street cutting and the ditch work and the berm work and stuff, I got a truck driver and 2 operators. And usually my part-time guy is my truck driver. So we have 3 pieces of equipment running at one time.
We're in our traffic.
Would it be possible to get a street report once a month at the council meeting saying this is what we did this month? Like a checklist, you know?
Well, that's what they've used to do.
Yeah, well, I'm just asking if we could do that
Yeah,
to see
you can do it, yeah, that's fine.
what
Okay.
we're getting accomplished.
Yeah. I'd like that.
So you want the same, what do you want from me? You want me to have her so Terry prints it up so it's in your, you don't want an everyday account, do you?
Well, you could do it like you used to, monthly.
Right, so you want me to, write it all out and give it to Terry and let her.
Yeah.
Put her, okay.
Sure.
It could simply be a text message to Terry, this is what we accomplished today. She could document it however she sees fit.
Right, we had forms before, Brian, that we tried this on, and the only problem was to document everything I do in one day, you don't have enough paper sometimes, because I'm jumping from little job to little job to little job to little job to little job.
You can give an overview. It's
Yeah,
not,
do like
you know,
just do like you used to do
Absolutely.
at the council meeting and give a report.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep.
Anything else on the street department? If not, we'll move on to number 9, zoning/code officer, April report.
Well, this month was surprisingly only 2 payments. I'm guessing it's gonna start picking up though, normally people are gonna be doing work now, but the 2 this past month, we have 1 for the school, they're getting a new sign. They got all the OKs from PennDOT, so that's gonna be starting soon. Let's see, and then the other one was just an extension from Dan Duffy. It was up on East South Ave. And so the thing was like I had to get all of the information from him again because
Step out here,
the
please.
filing.
Can't sleep.
The filing system, it didn't even have a parcel file. So I had him bring everything in to me because I didn't want to do an extension on it if I didn't even know what it was. So that's going to be like this coming winter. I'm actually going to go through these and make sure that the files are up to date, And then I got these, so if you guys, if anybody in the borough gets these, I'm not mean, I'm just want to talk. So those came, let's see. That's pretty much it.
Just keep an eye on the grass, and I know we've had a lot of rain, just keep an eye on the grass
Yep.
situation.
Yep, I got you. I have a couple places that I have written down that I'm keeping an eye on. And there's a couple there's some trash issues too.
Okay.
The one thing that I did want to let everyone know is if you have a blow-up pool, because I've had a couple questions about if they need a permit for like a blow-up pool. If they have blow-up pools or it's under, I think 32 inches, I have it written down. Pretty much if you buy from the dollar store, people don't need a permit for a pool. I know that some people were told that they did and they were given like warnings and stuff previously, like in prior years, but
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to make sure everybody knows you don't
So-
for that.
So just for blow-up pools or?
Under 32 inches and under.
I was
Okay.
gonna say 32 inches, but I didn't want to have the wrong, so, but yeah, if it's 32 inches or under, if you get it from like the grocery store or like Dollar General, you're fine.
No permits
You
required?
don't, no.
Anything larger than that, permits required?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Correct.
Leanne, what about that topic that you and I discuss every once in a while on South Ave?
So,
Is it South Ave?
Yep.
The barn?
The barn.
The barn.
So, just so you guys know, I had to re-drop off the letter because somehow I had the place next door. That's why it wasn't matching up with it. So when I pulled up on the parcel viewer, it looks like the same from like a bird's eye view. But yeah, I had the parcel wrong. So I dropped it off at the correct location. And that's all up
So
here.
that starts the process.
Yeah, the process kind of restarts.
All right.
So I apologize for that. That was my overlook. She hasn't reached out to me, but now that I have these, I'm gonna drop one of these off here. And I'll just keep trying, and I'll only give her so long, and then I guess we'll just have to go from there.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question, just in two general questions, just in regards to codes, or should I wait outside a meeting?
No, that's fine.
So, I don't know, you may have called me, I have 5 voicemails that I haven't checked. But I had stopped a week or two ago and asked just, is there any ordinance or code as far as planting trees? So my idea was possibly planting a tree or two on the outside of the sidewalk where they planted grass a year or two years ago, it just hasn't taken. And I didn't know if I've seen other towns where they do like planter boxes and like a couple trees and they're on that side. And I just didn't know if there was rules or anything in regards to that. I know I'm by a stop sign, so I know there's probably a rule as far as that.
Yeah, so if it's not hindering any view, you guys don't have a street tree ordinance that I saw.
Okay.
But if it's not hindering anybody's view, then I didn't see anything in the ordinances about it, but, how close is it to the road? You said it's on the other side of the sidewalk?
Yeah, so, I live on East Second Street.
So that would be in a right of way.
It's in our right of way.
Yeah, it's between the pavement and the sidewalk.
Yeah, so you can't, if it's on the other side of the sidewalk,
Okay.
no, you can't put it in there.
All right, yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a right of way or not, because I know on other streets, it's not considered a right of way, so that's why I was asking. And then the only other question I had, is there any ordinance or anything in regards to like buildings and things like that? I know it's been brought up before, but you're new, so I wanted to ask. The buildings out back behind my house, they're falling down, there's still a bunch of kids and still a bunch of people. I don't know what they're doing back there, but they go into them and
It's the old
whatnot.
wet building.
And I just don't know what happens.
Where is it at?
South Washington.
It's the old wet building.
166 South Washington. If you go past that dead end street, the low income project, you'll see it easily because the roof's caved in. There's a big metal building.
Oh.
And with it being low income right there, though, there are some kids that they manage to get in there. I can hear them. And I don't want my kids, so my kids know not to go beyond our property. But it's also why I sometimes tell my kids, no, you're not going outside today because I can't keep a good eye on them.
By the sewer plant.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that. That's the first I'm hearing of it, so.
They lost the judgment before,
Our
right?
old solicitor actually called it a traffic nuisance. I could show you right now.
Yeah,
Because there's kids, like Pete's sake, because I live there too. And it's
And it's-
unfortunate, these kids come down there and we don't know what they're doing.
And it's sub-level too, there's a basement underneath the main wood floor. And then the roof is caved in. I've flown over it in my drone numerous times, it's dangerous.
So the sewer department owns it?
No, they only own what this brought up, I don't remember where I was, I think at a fire call or someplace. Somebody told me, and like I said, I don't remember who it is, because we actually looked at putting a firehouse down there. And we looked into it, there's a whole bunch of liens and judgments against them.
Yeah.
And
That's
like I
that
said,
was my next question.
and I don't know who told me, I can't remember.
And the Chinese are involved in it somehow.
And, but Dougie McNabb. He told me that the judgments and the liens have all been paid on those buildings.
But again, the Chinese are involved in it somehow.
Right, because he is in contact with the lady that is in
We're not
charge of
judging
it.
Chinese, but.
The Chinese somehow, they own them now, or part of them or something, they're involved in it.
Yeah, that's who it was Doug McNabb at a call, and he told me personally that all the judgments and all the liens have been paid against them buildings.
Well, it's bottom line, Leanne, if they could just get them in compliance with codes.
Well, the only way they're gonna get them in compliance is
Bulldoze it. The one's getting bulldozed for sure. The metal building is salvageable, but barely.
Well, Whip Inc. owns it and they're out of Hoboken, New Jersey, so
Yes, yeah.
If you can't get a contact.
I'll get contact.
Well, let me know and I'll have, cause Dougie McNabb, that kinda oversees it or mows the lawn down there, so.
And he does mow. I can show you pictures from 2018 of this high.
Do you have anything
I
else?
come to council meetings for 3 years and complain about that place.
Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's everything.
George, I got a question.
I would, Leanne, I would like
Okay,
to.
thank you.
Sorry, nice to meet you all. See you
Same
next
deal.
month. I misjudged time. I gotta pick up a kid. So.
All right.
Have a good
See you
night.
later.
Yes, Sean.
I got a question for Leanne. I gave a picture to Terry a week or so ago about a car parked up here on Troy Street in front of the old newspaper building. Is that legal for them to park that on between the building and the sidewalk like that?
So if, that's again, like hindrance of view, if it's parked this way, I did tell him he can't park like that anymore, because when you pull out, you can't see.
Right.
But if he's parallel with the building, there's not a whole lot we can do because it is private property and he's back far enough. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Yeah, because
I
it was
told
up
him he cannot
to, it was
park
up and
anymore.
almost on the sidewalk and it's
Yeah, I
no
saw it was
parking
on the
right there in
sidewalk.
front of it and just the people coming in and out of that alley, it's
Right.
a danger.
Yep, I
I don't
talked to
think-
him and he said he will park
And I
with
looked
the
at
building.
the ADA requirements and I don't think that area meets the requirements for a handicap spot either.
Right, yep. So instead of parking, he just has to park this way. And
With the building.
yes, with the building.
So
And then if he's
So he's still backing
blocking
out
you-
blind unless he backs out to the left and goes to the rear of the building.
What, say that again?
So if he's parked next to the building, he's backing out blind, he's not gonna be able to see what's coming out towards the street.
He could back in and then just pull out.
Yeah.
But
Back in,
he don't
yeah.
back in, he pulls in, I've
Right.
seen it several times.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, the only thing that I would have to add on that with property, because I do occasionally walk my dog around there and stuff, and of course, I ran off Sean, so I've seen the holes in the roof, and there's 5 or 6 holes bigger than a car in that roof.
And so you guys have kind of tackled this before and they just pay the fines and then what, it just goes away?
Yeah. But I was told by Doug McNabb that like I said, everything's been taken care of on that property, but I don't officially know, I'm just going by what he told me.
Well, I'll look into it. I already have.
If that's the case, can we get the county maybe to reach out as eminent domain to put more housing back there?
We could do that.
Yeah.
Personally, we can do that. 'Cause it's in the borough.
The county has a program too that expedite it all.
Yeah. The other thing is, Codes Inc., they're pretty tough on people. So if we get them involved and then somebody goes out and looks at it, because if it's that dangerous,
Oh,
I've
yeah,
never.
It is, it's
been
bad.
there.
It's a commercial property too.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean, there's holes in the walls, you wouldn't believe it.
I'll show you.
Yeah, okay.
I can show you pictures my wife had the other day. There's cats on top of the metal roof.
Dude, that place is infested with cats, skunks,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
it's real
let's
deep.
move on,
All
please.
right. I have the company pulled up and I'll
The
take
last
it.
thing I'd like to say about that is, yeah, once you contact them, don't give them much time to get working on it.
No, no, no.
Start leveling.
No, if
levying
it's
funds.
dangerous, that's something I can be pretty annoying and they get sick of hearing from me, so I'll make sure that's something.
Just start finding them.
Yeah.
You had something for.
I do, Dave, on Montag, I know, there were folks here asking about the water, and the drain apparently is working well on one side of the street. The other side is still, like,
Okay,
terrible.
so on that.
Is there something that, can you put in a basin over there?
I can, if you want me to cut the new street up, I can put a basin in across the street and try to catch the other one, but it's not gonna solve the problem. The problem is, her driveway is 18 inches lower than the center line of the road. Pikes and all them up there all then come down into it, hers goes down. So what happens is all the water that runs down that side, because there's pictures of it, I can show you the pictures of it, where the water's actually running down and turning right into her driveway, because her driveway's so low, so it causes a swimming hole.
Can we put a small blacktop curb down through there, not cold patch curb, a
It's still
blacktop
gonna
curb?
turn into her driveway.
No, if you put it all the way down, just put a small one in front of her place, right across in front of her driveway.
I really feel for them, with all the rain we've had, and I've gone down by it several times, and.
So we had a representative from UGI and was telling us, Terry and I, about some of the projects that they were doing. And that whole street is slated to be redone. They have to put a new pipe or something down the middle, therefore they'll have to repave the whole entire street. So that may be
Yeah,
something that,
good luck on that.
when they do that, they said they just can't repave a portion of it, they're gonna have to do the whole thing. And the way the foreman talked, he thought it was going to be this summer even.
Okay.
So I mean,
Okay.
maybe that would change things too, I don't know.
Maybe they can put on the right side, kind of like ice down through, they can put a little bit of a block, which we've done that before, we put a little bit of a block, top curb down through.
I was just saying, instead of trying to.
Well, you could pitch it to the basketball court too.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to Band-Aid it now, they may, when they come in, they may do
Well,
something.
thanks for sharing that. That's the
Thank you.
first I've heard of
None of
that.
the water problem is below the basketball court, that's not the problem, it's what you've got, is you've got 100 yards of street that comes down on Ike's side that has no catch basins and nothing in it. So the ground, the actual ground or grass and everything absorbs the water that's coming down through there. But what it's doing when we get these hard rains or these steady rains and everything, it picks an area this wide down by the grass and follows that line the whole way down there. And as soon as it gets to that property right there, it goes straight in because it's that much lower than the actual road. It's really low.
But it is doable to put catch basins on that side.
You could, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we're doing it on other streets to help
What's the cost?
people out, right?
Involved?
It's gonna be expensive.
Well, right now, you just saw 3 catch basins and 300 foot of pipe. I think it was $13,700 some dollars because we do all the work and everything. That's my price to get the materials as far as it goes.
And they're gonna cash that CD in June, and you'll have 27,000 left.
I thought that was paying for other things, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, it's not,
All right,
I
let's
just want to.
Terry, you
Thanks
want
for
to chime in on that
information.
one? No?
All right, let's move on. Fire department, Ray's not here, he's probably getting things back in service. Busy month, 45 calls, so.
Thankful for the rain, a little less brush fire.
George, does that include EMS calls?
Yes. Yes. Emergency management. That's not here, the same thing. Recreation committee report.
I don't have anything to report on that, but I would like to open up and have one more meeting at the pool possibly to see if it got a little more community interest instead of just, other than us, it was Walter and Pete, yeah, and that was it. So, I mean, you know, we got a lot of response on the Facebook message that I left, and there was a lot of response to it, but we're gonna have to reach out to those people and see if they can come out with ideas, and also that they can actually see really what's gonna be, because it's gonna take a whole community effort. The borough can't be on the hook for it. So it's gonna take all the areas. and everybody to pitch in to do it, or it will be
So
not
we
happening?
had, I'm sorry to interrupt you, so we had the lady down there for the final inspection and everything, to pass our bathroom and stuff, and she, great lady, she's new, she's gonna look for all the grants and stuff that they can get us for the recreational department. The only bad part is they can't be used for a swimming pool. We can use it for anything else down there, playground equipment, ball field fix-up, anything we want, but we can't use it for a pool.
She even said that one of the YMCA is
Yeah,
going to close.
everybody's in
down.
down. Everybody's closing down.
Yeah.
So that's just, you know, like I said, we can get money, there are grants out there for us to get money to do other stuff down there, but.
Now, how would that go for us? The other question would be for me then, because it is a lot because one way or the other, let's say if we don't do something, we gotta do something with it, right? What would the grant cover? A splash pad, because it's not really a pool.
We have to, Carrie would have to get in touch with her and ask her about that as far as the grants go. She goes to this lady goes to all these meetings and conventions all the time, and she finds out everything there is to find on where money's available for all these things.
Yeah, because without grant money, it's gonna be impossible.
Terry, would it be possible to invite her to a council meeting?
Are they the same ones that we were looking at online? Is that the same, the 30,000, I think? I thought maybe it was, but I wasn't sure. Okay.
But I would still like to call a meeting. I'm gonna probably do it sometime at the end of June.
Yeah.
You know, when it's warmer and we know it's more dry weather, because right now you never know. After the day, it's supposed to rain for 5 days again.
Okay, mayor remarks, he's not here. Junior council person, Julian's resignation letter.
Going to college.
Actually, I have 2 of those, so. Okay, dear council members, with this resignation letter, I'm resigning from junior council person as my time resolves around work when the meetings occur. With my time as an author and taking a new position at my current job in Troy, my time is filled up. As junior council person, I have learned how the council works together to make decisions and voting as a council as well. I will take everything that I have learned from the council meetings with me to my future. As I plan on running for mayor, I generally building deeper and higher positions in the politics. Julian Ziegler.
Thank
Also,
you.
did we announce Julian has published a book?
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, awesome.
So I need a motion to accept Mr. Ziegler's.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call, Dina.
Aye.
Joey. Brian.
Deep regret, aye.
Jeff.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
Myself, aye. Yes, deeply regret, buddy. Thank you for serving your time.
Absolutely.
The yellow one is for Mr. Lyle Vermillion. Please accept this letter as a formal notification that I'm resigning from my position as Junior Borough Council member. If accepted, this would go in effect today, March 12th, 2025, following this meeting. I have learned a lot of valuable information from this experience. The biggest thing I have learned is how important it is to have a group of people who are willing to work together for the good of the community. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this experience. Sincerely, Lyle Vermillion. Thank you, Lyle.
Thanks, Lyle.
Yes, thank you. So I'll make the motion to accept Mr. Bernardus.
And I have a second, please.
I'll second that.
Roll call. Joey.
Aye.
Jeff.
Aye.
Deanna.
Aye.
Brian.
Aye, again, deep
Dave.
regret.
Aye.
Myself, aye. Yeah, deeply regret. Congratulations.
Flip it on top.
Good luck in your future, fellas.
Yeah, appreciate it. So, thank you for serving.
Stop back and see us.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can still have some candy.
yes. General information, no information actually requires spring cleanup is May 19th, going May 19th to the 22nd of May. For the good of the order, next meeting will be July 9th, or June 9th, 2025. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Excuse me, sir, you missed number 11.
No, I said it.
He brought it up.
I brought it up and you never said nothing.
You did bring it up.
I was in conversation.
Yeah,
with
you're in a
some-
conversation. Go ahead.
The only thing that I have, Brett and I are going to a class Wednesday in Wellsboro. It's for disaster recovery in rural communities. It's estimating damages and whatnot. It's an 8-hour course put on by FEMA, I believe.
Thank you.
I do have one more. I have a question on the general information before we adjourn.
Yes.
The spring cleanup, is that the free dumpster out back, or is that?
You have to pay.
curbside?
You have to pay for curb.
$70 a truckload.
You have to pay Terry, Terry makes a list out for Dave and.
Okay.
So
Put me on the list.
just to verify, $70 a truckload?
Yes.
I know it's been said multiple times, it's just hard to hear.
And then free,
Okay.
it would, something with free on it, it's
$10.
$10 more, or 10 by itself?
Yeah, so
Okay.
what I've been telling people to do, if they don't have a full truckload, get together with your neighbors and stuff. Split the cost all the way and put it in one pile. And it saves you a lot of money and then get rid of stuff.
And that's probably with that big new truck too, isn't it?
No.
With our Fords.
We tried the big new, sit there,
We,
shut
no,
up.
we get everything on that little truck.
You would,
Don't
you would be
scratch the
surprised
paint
when I
on it.
press it up that back of how much I can get on my.
Okay.
It's a great program.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, before we adjourn, remember
Thanks,
the
Andrew.
meetings are at 6 o'clock, not 7 o'clock, so
We want it to be at
Terry
27:30.
needs a very short executive session. No action will be taken.
For that, John?